Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Reaching Forward, Illinois. I am Georgia Pachinos-Anderson, and this year's chair of Reaching Forward. I am also the Assistant Supervisor of Patron Services at Niles Main District Library. I'm so pleased you are able to join us virtually, and we cannot wait to be together again in person at next year's conference. This past year has proven to be quite the journey. If anything, it has definitely proven one thing: library workers are resilient. The pandemic may have altered our course or way of operations, but we are still reaching forward. I'd like to thank the committee members who made this virtual conference possible. Without you and your hard work, this would not have taken place. Thank you to all our sponsors. Your generosity is greatly appreciated. And finally, a huge thank you to our speakers. The variety of programming you bring to our conference is exciting and enlightening. At this time, I would like to introduce you to Heidi Knuth, Chair of Reaching Forward 2020. Heidi is also Assistant Department Head of Youth Services at Bloomingdale Public Library.
Hello, everyone. I'm Heidi Knuth, Chair of what will hopefully be the only canceled conference in Reaching Forward history. It is so good to be able to speak to you today, even over Zoom. I never thought I'd see the day when I would wish to be up on a stage in front of hundreds of people, but here we are. It's been a long, weird year in our Reaching Forward journey, from being one of the first events to cancel back on March 13th, as the country started shutting down, to finding a photo during one of my many quarantine projects that reminded me of my first Reaching Forward, to being able to host so many of our wonderful presenters and speakers as ILA switched gears, came to the rescue, and launched Reaching Forward Fridays. Through it all, the committee has been, well, committed to meeting and planning this year's conference, and even next year's, when we hope to be in person once more. After all, Reaching Forward is our name. I'm so proud of everyone who works on this conference, and I'm grateful to all of you who have shown us time and again that what we do matters because what you do matters. Have a great conference and keep reaching forward. And now I'd like to introduce you Veronica DeFazio, also a past Reaching Forward committee chair and the fabulous president of ILA.
Hello. As Heidi said, I'm Veronica DeFazio, president of the Illinois Library Association and head of youth services at the Plainfield Public Library. Reaching Forward holds a very special place in my heart. My first Reaching Forward conference was in 2012. I presented a program that year, and as a result of that experience, I joined the next year's Reaching Forward Planning Committee, and in 2017 and 2018 had the great privilege of co-chairing the conference with Zach Terrell from the McHenry Public Library. Through my time with Reaching Forward, I met an amazing array of folks who worked at every level, from page supervisors to library directors, in libraries both big and small. One of the things that I've always loved about Reaching Forward is that it is just a one-day conference. And in the middle of that day, attendees are treated to a sit-down lunch during which the Reaching Forward awards are presented and the president of ILA says a few words. One of the first things that crossed my mind when I became president-elect of ILA was that I was going to get to stand on that stage in the ballroom in Rosemont, look out at the sea of almost 1,000 faces, and sing the praises of all that is Reaching Forward and Illinois libraries. Well, as you know, circumstances changed. We are not in that ballroom, and I am not on that stage. But know that even though I can't see any of your faces, I see you. ILA sees you. We see and hear about the work that every single library staff member has put in over the past year, about how you have had to put your fear aside, move out of your comfort zones, and do everything you can to assist those patrons who rely on you. About how, as a library community, you've come together and supported one another through the toughest times many of us will ever experience. Every day, I am reminded of how lucky I am to be a member of the Illinois Library family. I want to say thank you. Thank you for who you are and all that you do. And a huge thank you and many kudos to the Reaching Forward Committee for all of your hard work and flexibility in creating this year's event. And congratulations to all of the award winners. Have a wonderful conference, and I hope to see all of you in Rosemont in 2022. And now I'd like to turn things over to the delightful Belinda Husak, chair of the Reaching Forward Awards Committee.
Thank you, Veronica. My name is Belinda Husak, as Veronica said, and I work at the Algonquin Library as Circulation Manager. The awards committee would like to thank staff who took the time to share so many amazing examples of how their nominees have made patron and library services better in their communities. Before I announce this year's winners, I have the privilege of introducing you to last year's award winners. Darnetta Bolton is the Youth Services Reference Librarian at the Oberlin Park Public Library. Darnetta's application began with the words, "Libraries are for everyone." She shared how policies and procedures within libraries can create barriers to professional development for library staff. As a member of the 2020 ILA Conference Committee, she has learned much from the staff and members of the committee. Darnetta's desire to continue her professional development and to advocate for other part-time librarians and staff is inspiring. Congratulations, Darnetta.
Thank you, Belinda. I am Darnetta Bolton, Youth Services Librarian at the Oberlin Park Library. I would like to say thank you to become one of the 2020 recipients of the Robert P. Doyle Award. It is an honor and a pleasure. I'd like to give a special thank you to the 2020 Reaching Forward Committee and specifically the 2020 Awards Subcommittee. I'd also like to give a special thank you to the staff and patrons at the Oberlin Park Library. It is a pleasure to work with you, your children, and your families. And thank you so very much for this award. Thank you.
Our Oberlin Enrich 2020 winner is William Plez. He is the page and volunteer coordinator at the Highland Park Library. When William began working at the Highland Park Library in a frontline position, he greeted, explained policies, resolved account issues, all with a sincere focus on providing the patron with the best of library experiences. Since that time, he has been a leader in his current position, organizing staff, communicating with managers, sharing hacks with coworkers, or bringing the library news outside the library as volunteer coordinator. Congratulations, William.
It is an honor and privilege to be the recipient of the 2020 Oberlin Rich Award. Above everything else, I feel truly blessed. Part of that comes from receiving such a prestigious honor. Another part is knowing that this is the result of a lot of good, talented people lending me support when I needed it. For starters, there are the two people who nominated me, Robin Smith and Lori Skinner. It's always something special when your coworkers acknowledge the work you are doing, but Robin and Lori were doing that long before the nomination letter. Robin openly supported my continued development, never hesitating when I asked about taking part in any continuing education up to and including my first Reaching Forward in 2015. Meanwhile, Lori supported any and every idea I had to take part in adult streaming content despite not being part of her department. It is their belief in what I could accomplish that has led me to where I am now, and I'll be eternally grateful. Especially since it almost didn't happen. True story. About 10 years ago, I applied to work at the Borden Grove Public Library as a part-time circulation clerk. I heard about the opening from Jess Alexander, a youth librarian I happen to know because we were in the same Dungeons and Dragons group on weekends. I got the interview with then circulation manager Caitlin Savage, and I would say it went pretty well. Not good enough to get the job, though. I did get a nice letter in the mail letting me know that they would keep me in mind if anything opened up in the future, the way I'd seen many times before. Except she absolutely meant it. And a month later, when something did come up, she called me in and I got the position. As I say, thank you to Jess and Caitlin for getting me started on this journey. And what a journey it's been. I've had the opportunity to work with some of the most giving and selfless people, which technically is another way to say library employees, but I digress. So to Jeff Ray, Frida Jasing, John Kraus, Eli Sieberklaus, Ruchi Sharma, Nihar Shah, Betty Kaiser, Melissa Mayberry, Georgia Pachinos Anderson, Carly Levin, David Fell, Jonathan Friedman, Connor Kraus, Alex Zime, Sarah Burkhardt, Olivia Anderson, and the many other fine people who have graced the stacks of the Borden Grove and Highland Park Public Libraries, respectively. Thank you for your boundless encouragement. Finally, I'd like to thank everyone past and present who helped make Reaching Forward a reality. After attending my first Reaching Forward back in 2015, I was asked to write a summary of what I learned. At the end of the piece, I wrote the following. Outside of the mostly practical information I gathered during my time at Reaching Forward, the most valuable thing was how revitalized I felt after interacting with so many of my peers in such a positive environment. The enthusiasm of everyone was infectious, and I could not imagine leaving the convention being anything but excited to go in and do the work we do. 6 years and 5 conferences later, my feelings have not changed. Thank you.
As in previous years, our nominees come from different departments within their libraries. Each has found a way to put their skills to work to help their patrons and libraries through this past year. This year's award winners found ways to thrive through the challenges we faced. The first 2020 award I will present is the Robert P. Doyle Grant for support staff. It was established in honor of ILA's executive director, who has been instrumental in the support of library staff. The Robert P. Doyle Award winner receives a one-year ILA membership and full registration plus expenses to the ILA conference. Aaron Bryant is our 2020 winner. Aaron is a full-time library clerk in the Assistive Resources Center, a public service unit of the Harold Washington Library Center, Chicago Public Library System. Aaron has focused considerable effort on learning the functionality of all the assistive technology to achieve his goal. He went beyond training and completed his own research and manual reviews. He continues to pursue opportunities to help deepen his knowledge of library work and the vision of the Chicago Public Library. He truly believes in the mission of library services and is dedicated to the patrons in his service community. Congratulations, Aaron.
I am truly thankful and appreciative to be selected as the recipient of the prestigious Robert P. Doyle Award. It is with immense gratitude that I say thank you to the Reaching Forward Committee panel of judges for considering me worthy of this distinct honor. I'd like to thank CPL leadership, my manager, Patrice Johnson, and Division Chief Michelle Carnes for their dedication and commitment to staff and patrons during such unprecedented times. I'd like to thank my colleagues, Nancy Garcia and Kyra Lee, for their constant support. And I would like to give a special thank you to our patrons who continued to show us every day during the pandemic how essential library services are to the patrons and communities we serve. Thank you.
The Oberlin and Rich Grant for Support Staff Award, named for Reaching Forward founding members Toby Oberman and Tom Rich, recognizes an individual who has demonstrated personal and professional growth to advance themselves in a position of leadership. The award winner will receive free registration to the current year Reaching Forward Conference, an overnight stay at the Reaching Forward Conference Hotel, $50 for expenses, and a framed certificate. This year, I am pleased to announce that we have chosen two winners for the Oberman and Rich Awards. Our first award winner is Adrian Clark. Adrian is the Assistant Department Head of Circulation Services for the Calumet City Public Library. For the last 6 months, working as interim department head. Adrian leads from a place of service and approaches every situation with what is going to be best for the team. She is someone who wants to grow and embraces each piece of knowledge that comes her way. Adrian has influenced her team and library for the better. Congratulations, Adrian.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Well, good afternoon. My name is Adrian Clark, and I am the Assistant Head of Circulation at the Calumet City Public Library. First of all, I want to thank you. I want to say thank you to the Reaching Forward Awards Committee for this incredible honor. I also want to thank my library director, Jennifer Hovanek, for nominating me. This honor is truly unexpected. I started my career at Calumet City Public Library in October of 2019. Then in March of 2020, we were shut down due to the pandemic, as was the nations around the world. Through it all, the Calumet City Public Library staff shouldered on, and we have made it to this point. However, I have to bring special attention to our Calumet City Public Library circulation staff, Anita, Clara, Carlos, Katura, and Albertina, who stood together with me to keep our department viable and strong. Without them, I would not be receiving this honor. I would like to accept this award in their name and also in the name of my library, Calumet City Public Library. I sincerely thank you very much.
Our second Oberman and Rich 2020 winner is Christine Steck. She is the Outreach Services Assistant at the St. Charles Public Library. Throughout her tenure on the Outreach Services team, she has devoted herself to providing exemplary library, programming, and engagement activities and services to the seniors in her community. Librarians across rails have attended Christine's programs to better serve seniors in their libraries. Christine continues to adapt services, including contactless delivery through the pandemic, to ensure that seniors receive quality materials and programming. Congratulations, Christine.
Thank you, Belinda. I am honored and privileged to receive the Oberlin Rich Award. Thank you to the Reaching Forward Committee for this wonderful award and recognition. Thank you to my team, David Kelsey and Linda Sprainer. Together, we are truly making a meaningful difference and positive impact in the lives of our seniors each and every day. I would also like to thank Heidi Kruger, my Adult Services Manager, Edith Craig, the Director of the St. Charles Public Library, and the Board of Directors for their support and encouragement. I would especially like to thank the seniors that I serve each day. It is so rewarding to work with this underserved population. Not only am I blessed to make a difference in their lives, but they also make a difference in mine. Thank you so much again for this distinction of being the recipient of the 2021 Oberlin Rich Award. Thank you.
Congratulations once again to all of our winners. We're so very proud of you. And right now I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Georgia. Thanks again, everyone.
Thank you, Belinda. I would like to congratulate all of our award winners. Congratulations to you all. I would like to thank everyone for attending our virtual Reaching Forward Illinois conference. And I can't tell you how much we are looking forward to seeing you in Rosemont next May. Please enjoy the rest of the conference. Thank you.